Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Where's my coffee? I need my coffee. It's right here. So I'm getting ready to film my videos for the day. I just came home and I literally have so many packages of things. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show you everything right now because my entire counter is filled. My P.O. box has been filled every day. You guys are so sweet to send me things. You don't have to send me anything. And I just want to say it means a lot to me when you do. But just commenting on my videos or liking them or even watching them just means so much to me. So thank you. But I wanted to show you guys these things that I've received. But first, before I do, I want to show you some of the things I got from judging the pageant, because the last day they gave us like a thank you, like little kit, and they gave us this Vera Bradley towel, beach towel, that was like one of the sponsors, Vera Bradley was. And then one of these packages is for Alex. Okay, that's Alex is over there. And then they gave us this candle, which is from like a local candle company. It's so nice, look at this. And it is Karma Candles, and I don't know what the scent is. It doesn't say. But it smells so fantastic. I have so many candles, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna put that over here. And then, what else? Okay, they also gave us a mug that had our judging team panel on it, which was very, very cool. And then they gave us like a little keychain and stuff, so, oh, and then here's my black tie. Is this my black tie or my blue tie? It's my black tie that I wore the other night. If you'd like to see how I looked. Here, we'll tie a little tie. I wore this for the final night of the pageant. So I can dress up, see, listen. There you go. It's a little short because I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, but hi, I'm pretty fancy if you didn't know. So anyway, those were the things that I got from the pageant, which was really, really nice. Got it over there. And then the next thing I want to say is that I got a postcard, and did she not sign her name on here? Well, she didn't sign her name on here. But it was a really, really sweet card. She did not sign her name on here. But she sent me this little postcard, which was so sweet. It was a little dog and feet on it. So thank you to whoever sent me the postcard. It was a very nice message. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, let's see what else I got. So I have packages that are open, and I have packages that I have not opened yet. So we will save the packages that I have not opened yet over here. Put those up. So the first thing, and I opened this, but I did not read the note. So I'm going to read the note while I'm filming. Thank you note. Peter, lip balm and coffee. What could be a better combination? Thanks for always making me smile and laugh with your videos. Love, Allie. So Allie sent me this, and she sent me, are you ready for these little, and I may do a review of these on my review channel. Lip Smacker, frappe, and we have here vanilla chai, mocha chip, cinnamon, churro, and caramel. Aren't those so cute? I think I'm gonna actually do my review video of that today. And she also sent me this giant lip balm inflatable noodle. How cute is that? Do you see? I'm so excited. It's like 5 feet tall. Does it say how tall it is? Well, I ain't got my glasses on, I can't do math. So, anyway, but thank you so much for that, Allie. I'm gonna do my little review of that today, which will be really fun. Okay, so that goes over there. And then the next, have I opened all of these? Oh, then I got a letter and a lip balm. I had all this stuff, a very, very heartfelt letter from Ashley, and she sent me a lip balm. So there's that, so thank you, Ashley, for your letter. Put the lip balm over here. Okay, clean as you go. Okay, this next thing is going to make appearances probably in my drama video today. Hi Peter, huge stan. Here is another drama line for you all the way from North Carolina. I always love listening to your Peterisms and hearing your story. It's so empowering. Please keep it up. Sent with all the love, Margaret. And she sent me this Lips telephone. Is this not hilarious? Oh my god! So hold on a second, I'm going to open it. I'll probably be using this today on my... Oh my god, I'm living for this. I need to put the cord and everything on it. So here it is. That might be my thumbnail. Alright. Obviously, I do not have a phone line. Or an active phone line, I should say. So this goes in there. Cord. This is so hilarious. Okay. House of Drama, Drama Phone. This is Peter speaking. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to be using that in my drama phone. Put that over here. The videos to make. Okay, so thank you so much, Margaret. One of my best friends in high school, that was her name. Okay, the next thing I got. You guys, I about died when I opened this. Okay, let me get the thank you card. Oh, it doesn't have a thank you card in it. Does it say who bought it for me on here? No! So please, somebody let me know who sent this to me. And it is The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas DVD, which is like one of my favorite movies of life. And I actually do not own it. People send me movies all the time, and like I own them already. But I don't own this, and I'm so excited because Alex has never seen it. And I was just, because there was like a discussion on the vlog, I think it was, about is Hard Candy Christmas a Christmas song? Because it comes from this movie. And I was talking about I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton originally, that's in this movie. I never considered Hard Candy Christmas a Christmas song. That's just my 2 cents. But if you do, you do. It doesn't really matter. But they do play it at Christmas time, which I think is really funny. So whoever sent this to me, let me know. Please email me or comment on the vlog. Okay, the next thing is... This is so funny because I actually ordered this too. And I have the exact same one over there. But I'm so happy that I have 2. Hopefully this one is your new favorite and not a complete dud. Thank you for helping me through some tough times with your videos, Asbury. And she sent me the, Dr. Pepper lip balm. She sent me the Dr. Pepper lip balm. So I'm gonna, probably do that in the same video today and call it my new favorite lip balms or something. I don't know. Anyway, and then, oh my god, you guys. Now, I have received so many fans recently from people. I'm actually going to buy a plastic container and keep them over here because I was keeping them in a drawer. But I don't have, I was going to make a little funny joke from the, did you ever see the movie, what's it called? I was going to say The All-Nighter, but that's another great movie. About Last Night with Demi Moore and Rob Lowe. I loved that movie back in the day. But in that movie, he's like, I cleared out a drawer for you. And she's like, a drawer, Dan? A whole drawer just for me? I love that movie. But anyway, so Peter saw this and thought of you. Keep up the great videos. Thanks for keeping it real. From Jasmine. And Jasmine sent me... Oh, I live! It says iconic. It's a really, really nice fan. And it comes from Clap Fan. It's really sturdy. And it's like silky. It's really nice. So I'm going to use that today. So I have all kinds of new things to use in my video. So thank you so much. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay. My birthday is not till June 29th, but this feels like it's my birthday. Okay, I don't know what to open next. So this comes from... The thing says Mexican Candy Lady on it. Get some, I guess I should open it from the top. Okay, this is, oh. Oh my gosh. Now y'all know I'm on a diet. How cool is this? Let me read you a little note. Hi, Peter. We hope you enjoy your Mexican snacks. And this is from the Mexican Candy Lady. And she sent me rainbow Doritos. How cute are those? Kind of like Pride Day Doritos. And then she sent me these, like, fruit, like, they look kind of like Oreos. They have, like, fruit stuff in the middle of them. Yum, 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 yum. She sent me 2 packages of those. And then, like, a little thing of candies. Oh my god, I live. Aw, I love this. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. Well, when I make my cheat day, I will do a review of those candies. So thank you so much. Mexican Candy Lady. And let's see if there's a website on here. MexicanCandyLady.com. Yes, I will put that below if I hope I remember. Okay, I put the card out now. The next one is for, oh, I know what this is. Somebody, okay, so this is from ABH. Here's the box, which is Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have a feeling somebody else sent me a fan. Oh my god, I'm so excited! Okay, the thing is with them, it never tells you who sent it to you. But boost! I live! If you guys are the ones sending me these fans, will you let me know? And I will say this about ABH Cosmetics, that every time they send me something, I have to go and sign for it and pick it up. Which I think is really nice, that, because a lot of other makeup companies don't do that. They just leave it on your doorstep or something like that. So thank you to whoever sent that to me. That was awesome. Listen, I can never have enough fans, honestly, because I take them on trips, and then, like, I give them away. Like, when I went to LA, like, I gave a fan to, like, almost everybody that I filmed with. So, yeah. Okay, the next one comes from... Let me open this first. I bet it's going to be, like, soap or something. Okay, it comes from... Ooh, what's that? A little wood in there? It comes from Mending Moon Apothecary. Hi, Peter. Here are some more healing... Oh, my God, crystals for you all. A blue one, OG Woof, blue heart, a soulmate quartz for you and Alex, a black tourmaline to shield you from the haters, also a stick of Palo Santo to cleanse your space. Enjoy. Love you. Okay, so here's the stick to cleanse our space. Oh, I love this. Oh, my God, I totally did not expect this. And then she has her card on it at the bottom. Mending Moon Apothecary. So I will put, it's at Mending Moon Apothecary. I will put that below. Okay. So thank you for that. Let's open these. So this is the black tourmaline. Look at that. I'm going to put these crystals right here. Because we have like a little thing right here and we say, like, have rocks and stuff on it that like we save and like shells. This must be, hold on a second. Okay. A soulmate quartz. I bet that's this. Boom, boom. What's my heart side? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. I love that. Oh my God. And then... What is this? My mailman's probably mad because I'm parked in front of the mailbox. I thought he had already delivered the mail. Tourmaline to shield you from the haters. Also a stick of Palo Santo to cleanse your space. That was the stick. Here are some more healing crystals for you. A blue. I don't know which one this one is. But this is so pretty, isn't it? I love crystals. Friends of mine, and here's the little, I don't know what, do I burn this or do I just leave it out? I'm gonna have to look that stuff up. I have a lot of friends that always, so thank you so much. Meg, thank you. That was awesome. I will link that below in case you guys want to go check that out. People always, like, I have a lot of friends of mine, excuse me. I have a lot of friends of mine that give me crystals as gifts. PP's medicine flying everywhere. Here's the allergy medicine that I take. It's called aloe vera. I haven't taken it today, and I'll show you. It comes in these little tablets. You just need one a day. Non-drowsy allergy medicine, and then you open it like this. I'll take it in a second because I haven't taken it today. And then, see, and you just put it on your tongue and it melts. It's like $20 for this whole thing, but you get 60 and $20 is super cheap. But I mean, it doesn't work like other allergy medicine. Okay, and then I have absolutely no idea what this is. It just says customer service on it. From somewhere on S. Happy birthday, Peter. Thank you for blessing my life with your beautiful personality. You crack me up. Love, Gladys. Oh my God, you guys. It's a hat. Okay, what does it say on it? Hold on, let me pull it out. It says, Dog Dad AF. How cute is that? Here's my fear, though. Sometimes hats don't fit me. Oh my God, it fits good. Oh my God, look at that. How cute is that? Oh, thank you. I love that. Put that over there for my videos, too. Gladys, thank you so much. My God, you guys are so sweet to me. So this is all the stuff that I got. Love it. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to go make videos. I don't even know what I'm going to make videos about today. So anyway, boost. Where's my other fan? Oh, it's over here. Iconic beast. I'm an iconic beast. Those are my two fans I'm going to use today. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to put this stuff away. And then, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. It's fun to get stuff, and it means a lot to me. And like I said, you don't have to send me anything. Don't feel like you have to at all. But I like to show the stuff that you guys give me because, you know, it's nice for you to send it to me, so I should be, you know, obviously nice enough to show it on here. I was going to tell you what else I've done throughout the day. Not much. Went and got my coffee, and, yeah, I'm about to film my videos and talk to Alex a couple times today. He's been busy at work. And then I'm going to pick up Tanya at 7:30 for our meeting, and that's about my day. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now, and I will be back in a little while. Do you ever just dance in the kitchen? My mom used to love to dance in the kitchen. She would put music on, and then she would just dance, dance, dance. Okay, be back. Bye. Okay, I'm back. It is many, many hours later. It is so muggy outside. It is 67 degrees, but I'm kind of loving it. The air is so nice. But I will tell you that my allergies are literally like on a 10 out of 10 right now. I was laying in bed and I'm just like sneezing. I got home from my meeting tonight and Alex had gone over to a friend's house for his friend that passed away. They're like working on setting up some kind of foundation or something. So Alex was over there working on that at her house, and then when he came home we both went to bed because we were both tired. And so I just woke up and I slept for like 2 hours, 3 hours maybe. Yeah, 3 hours. And I was sneezing so hard while it just kept on waking me up. I would sneeze like, you know, a couple times, and then I would go back to sleep, and I would wake up sneezing again. It's like my allergies was driving me crazy. But anyway, it's really weird too, because my allergies usually don't go this far into the summer. I mean, usually my allergies are like April, May. By the middle or end of June, usually my allergies don't even exist anymore. I just want to say something before I start talking about whatever I'll end up talking about, because I never really know on my vlogs. But so I got a lot of emails and messages yesterday or today about my vlog that I did last night talking about Pride in a really positive way. I got just a lot of messages from people thanking me for talking about that, which was really interesting because I just, you know, I really didn't plan about. I never get on here and plan out what I'm going to talk about. I never come on the vlog and say like, oh, I think I'm going to talk about this or whatever. You know, like I might have an idea of like, well, I'm going to share that this happened. Like, you know, with the pageant, like I hadn't talked about it all week long, so I knew that I was going to share that night. But I never really know what direction it's going to go in. You know, it's just very stream of consciousness for me, whatever I talk about on here, which is why I think it's so therapeutic. For me, this vlog is. But, You know, in all honesty, sitting here right now, I don't really even remember a lot of what I talked about last night with the whole pride thing. But apparently, a lot of people got a lot out of that, and I just want to say thank you to all of you out there that sent me messages. In the last, I would say, 2 to 3 months, I've gotten an overwhelming amount of emails and direct messages, and I'm having a really hard time keeping up with it. So I just want you to know that just because you may not get a personal response from me doesn't mean that I didn't read it. I'm trying to do my best to answer all of them, so I just want you guys to know that. You know, it was like the commenting on videos, I had started doing that, and then the whole, like, Dramageddon thing happened, and I was all of a sudden getting, like, 3,000 comments on videos on that channel, on that Peter Monn channel. My windows are fogging up all of a sudden. And I was like, I can't keep up with this, which is fantastic. You know, I mean, that's the coolest thing in the entire world, but I just was like, I can't keep up with this. So I think I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do is go in to all of my videos, like when I post them, for like, the other thing is I post my videos, like a lot of them, like if you'll notice, like, I don't know if you're in notifications or not. I don't, to be honest, my feelings aren't hurt if you don't, because I don't have notifications really for anybody, but I constantly am looking up who, like, my favorites are to see if they've posted. But I, you know, often, like, I'll post, like, my Peterisms, my vlog, and my book videos, like, all at the same time. Or my vlog and my drama channel, like, at the same time. Like, I post them at exactly the same time, because I'll just, like, post, and then I'll go into the next account and post it, because they're just, like, ready to go. And, so it's hard for me sometimes to sit there and respond to comments on 2 different videos right away. But I need to do it, and because I appreciate you guys leaving comments, so I need to make a better effort of going in there, at least for, like, you know, the first half an hour, and leaving comments and things like that. So that will be what I work on going forward this week, doing a better job of that. But I got some really funny emails from people sharing their experiences of being, like, why, you know, they identify as being proud, you know, gay men, lesbians, or however they identify. I had, you know, because I talked about bisexuality in my video that I did about James Charles the other day on my drama channel, I got so many people that reached out to me talking about being bisexual and thanking me for including them in the conversation about that, which I think is vital. You know, I think, my experience has been within the LGBTQIA+ rainbow that sometimes we're not great about being inclusive ourselves. All of us, I think, at times, you know, that we're focused on being the G or being the L, or, you know what I mean, but we're not inclusive of worrying about our bisexual brothers and sisters in there as well. And I think that that's important, you know, to destigmatize the idea that, you know, like, somebody tweeted me and they said, thank you for talking about it, and if you don't think that I get, like, a lot of hate for it, like, they were saying it to, like, other people, like, out there that were reading the tweet. She was like, you know, people automatically assume that if you're bisexual, you want to have threesomes, or, you know, that you're not monogamous in a relationship and things like that, when that has really nothing to do with it. And I think that we need to do better education of that kind of stuff, and we need to talk more about, like, asexuality and pansexuality and what that is, and why some people, you know, identify as that. And if you don't understand what that is, asking somebody that is, you know, like I said that the other day in my video, I think it's important. You know, the only way I have learned about things is by asking questions. And I can remember the very first time, like, I read it about an asexual, I think it was a character in a book. I don't really remember, but I do remember who I reached out to and asking about asexuality and the way that they described it to me. And because, you know, I was reading, like, definitions and articles online, but it wasn't really explaining to me somebody's point of view or why they identify as that, you know. And very rarely do I come across a person that is oppositional to educating somebody if we ask them in appropriate and kind ways, I think, you know. You know, it's so interesting to me because, like, during Pride Month and all this stuff that's been going on, and I have some very strong emotional feelings about, you know, I said I don't want to do a lot of crossover, but if you watch my drama video, then you'll know what I'm talking about, that there was, you know, this person that said that they felt like they were bisexual or bi-curious until they started kissing this other person, and then they realized immediately that they weren't, that they were straight, but that then they were pushed by friends and family to continue to act that way to gain clout. Well, I have a huge issue with that, you know? You know, I have a huge issue when I watch documentaries that have, you know, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I've had so many friends of mine that really fought for the rights of the LGBTQIA+ community that are no longer with us, that devoted their life to that, like, literally devoted their life to that, you know? And then, like, I watch, like, documentaries of, oh, it's on Netflix, what is it? I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times. It's such a fantastic documentary. The life and death of Martha, it's not Martha, why can't I think of her name? I'm gonna look it up in a second. Marsha P, why can't I think of her name? And her friend Sylvia Rivero. But anyway, her name's not in the title. I want to make sure I get the name of this. Hold on, I'm gonna pull in here. If you have not seen this documentary, I feel like everybody should watch this documentary. I've literally watched this so many times. As well as Paris is Burning, which is on Netflix. Okay, so I'm obsessed with the song Never Enough by The Greatest Showman. I just have been listening to it on repeat. One of the girls at the pageant, like, that was her talent, and she literally, like, I mean, she was incredible, okay? And I've been obsessed with that song ever since. It's Marsha P Johnson. It's pulling it up, but it's Marsha P Johnson. It just came to me. But I want to read you guys the thing. Life, and her friend was Sylvia Rivero. Life and death. Please tell me it's still up. Life. Maybe it's death and life. I think it's death and life. I think they have it backwards. Death and life. Here it is. The death and life of Marsha P Johnson, as she fights the tide of violence against trans women activist Victoria Cruz, who's like the main woman in the documentary, probes the suspicious 1992 death of her friend Marsha P Johnson. And, oh, they do have Pose on here. They have season 1 of Pose, if you've never seen it, which is, the new TV show, kind of new, it came out last year, by Ryan Murphy, that does, you know, American Horror Story and all those, and it's about the ball scene. But anyway, Marsha P Johnson was a trans activist, and she was in the original Stonewall riots, and her friend, I think her name was Sylvia Rivera, was like her best friend. And, you know, at that time, there was a lot of focus on the G, the L, and the B. I mean, like, gay, lesbian, bisexual, but there wasn't really a lot of focus on the whole trans movement. Like, there wasn't a lot of support by the gay men and the lesbians and the bisexual. There were people that identified as bisexual. So, like, they fought against that. Within the community, they fought against that. And they were fighting for everyone's rights. And when you watch this, it's just, like, unbelievable the way that even just the two of, and it's very sad, they ended up homeless at one point, and they started shelters for homeless trans women. And this documentary is phenomenal. And the question is really, like, whether or not she was murdered. So it's kind of like a mystery, too, as you're watching it. But, you know, when you watch these documentaries, and it also educates you about Stonewall, if you don't know a lot about the Stonewall riots, I think, which were in 1969. I think they were in 1969. I think it was June 28th of 1969, because my birthday is June 29th, and it was the day that Judy Garland died. Look at me pulling in here. I feel like I should know this by heart. But it was when the police came into the Stonewall riots, and at that time, you know, if you were a man dressing as a woman, you could be arrested. There were sodomy laws in every state, and they had enough, and they said enough is enough, and they started fighting back, and it was the beginning of the gay rights movement. Hold on a second. Stonewall riots. I'm gonna make sure I have the right date. June 28th, 1969. The Stonewall riots, also referred to as the Stonewall Uprising or the Stonewall Rebellion, were a series of spontaneous violent demonstrations by members of the gay LGBT community against a police raid that began in the early morning hours of June 28, 1969 at the Stonewall Inn in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City. They are widely considered to constitute the most important event leading to the gay liberation movement and the modern fight for LGBT rights in the United States. And it goes on and says, gay Americans in the 1950s and 1960s faced an anti-gay legal system. Early homophile groups in the U.S. sought to prove that gay people could be assimilated into society. They favored non-confrontational education for homosexuals and heterosexuals alike. So, I mean, you think about this in the 1950s and 60s that we could be arrested. I mean, I couldn't even talk about this in a video, you know? The last years in the 1960s, however, were very contentious as many social political movements were active, including the civil rights movement, the counterculture of the 1960s and anti-Vietnam War movement. These influences, along with the liberal environment of Greenwich Village, served as catalysts for the Stonewall riots. I wanted to talk about where the night that actually happened. On June 28th, 1970, the first gay pride marches took place in New York, Los Angeles. Wait. On June 28th, 1970, that was the following year. After the Stonewall riots, gays and lesbians in New York City faced gender, race, class, and generational obstacles to becoming a cohesive community. Just goes in and talks about all kinds of earlier resistance. Oh wait, Stonewall Inn, it goes in here too. Visitors to the Stonewall Inn in 1969 were greeted by a bouncer who inspected them through a peephole in the door. The legal drinking age was 18, and to avoid unwittingly letting in undercover police who were called different names, visitors would have to be known by the doorman or look gay. The entrance fee on weekends was $3, which, okay. Only a few transvestites or men in full drag were allowed in by the door. The bouncers. The customers were 98% male, but a few lesbians sometimes came to the bar. Younger homeless adolescent males who slept in nearby Christopher Park would often try to get in so customers would buy them drinks. That semi is loud. Police raids on gay bars were frequent, occurring on average once a month for each bar. Many bars kept extra liquor in a secret panel behind the bar or in a car down the block to facilitate resuming business as quickly as possible if alcohol was seized. At 1:20 a.m. on Saturday, June 28, 1969, 4 plainclothes policemen in dark suits, 2 patrol officers in uniform, and Detective Charles Smythe and Deputy Inspector Seymour Pine arrived at the Stonewall Inn double doors and announced police were taking the place. Stonewall employees do not recall being tipped off that a raid was to occur that night, as was the custom. According to Duberman, there was a rumor that one might happen, but since it was much later than raids generally took place, Stonewall management thought the tip was inaccurate. Historian David Carter presents information indicating that the mafia owners of the Stonewall and the manager were blackmailing wealthier customers, particularly those who worked in the financial district. Where is it that it goes on to? Approximately 205 people were in the bar that night. Patrons who had never experienced a police raid were confused. A few who realized what was happening began to run for doors and windows in the bathroom, but police barred the doors because they were afraid that they were going to be arrested and then people would know that they were in a gay bar. The raid did not go as planned. Standard procedure was to line up the patrons, check their identification, and have female police officers take customers dressed as women to the bathroom to verify their sex, upon which any men dressed as women would be arrested. Can you imagine absolutely how humiliating that is? Those dressed as women that night refused to go with the officers officers, men in line began to refuse to produce her identification. The police decided to take everyone present to the police station. After separating those cross-dressing in a room in the back of the bar, Maria Ritter, then known as Mail to her family, recalled, "My biggest fear was that I would get arrested. My second biggest fear was that my picture would be in a newspaper or on a television report in my mother's dress." Both patrons and police recalled that a sense of discomfort spread very quickly, spurred by police who began to assault some of the lesbians by feeling some of them up inappropriately while frisking them. The police were to transport the bar's alcohol. Okay, it goes on. Within minutes, between 100 and 150 people had congregated outside, some after they were released from inside the Stonewall, and some after noticing the police cars in the crowd. Although the police forcefully pushed or kicked some patrons out of the bar, some customers released by the police performed by the crowd by posing and saluting the police in exaggerated fashion. The crowds applause encouraged them further. When the first patron, there's like quotes in here that I'm not going to read because they're so just absolutely, they're upsetting. I mean, this is just like a mild one, but wrists were limp, hair was primped, and reactions to the applause were classic. When the first patrol arrived, Inspector blah, blah, blah. A bystander shouted, "Gay power." Someone began singing, "We shall overcome," and the crowd reacted with amusement and general good humor mixed with growing and intensive hostility. An officer shoved a transvestite who responded by hitting him on the head with her purse as the crowd began to boo. Author Edmund White, famous gay author, who had been passing by, recalled, "Everyone's restless, angry, and high-spirited. No one has a slogan, no one even has an attitude, but something's brewing." A scuffle broke out when a woman in handcuffs was escorted from the door of the bar to the waiting police wagon several times. She escaped repeatedly and fought with form, described as a typical New York. I mean, the way that this is written is horrible, you guys. And then it goes on, and it becomes this huge argument, this fight between, I mean, this is really a long escalation, violence. It goes in here. So if you want to see it, I mean, you can read. I don't know that I think that the history of Stonewall is best written by Wikipedia, I will just say, but I thought that it was important that I read it to you. And I think it's important that we know that. I think it's important that as people in the LGBTQIA+ community, as well as allies, our heterosexual straight allies, I think it's important that we understand our history and we understand what it was like, you know, and we pay homage to those people that came before us. My windows are so fogged up. For paving the way, and I'm thankful for that. And I don't take that for granted, not for 1 second, you know, that what my life would look like today had that never happened. We can learn a lot from movies and documentaries without ever having to leave our house. You know, you can watch Milk about Harvey Milk, and, you know, all the way that, you know, it was funny because I was reading in Shaw David Hutchinson's book that I just read, which was about his coming out. It was called Brave Face. He was talking about the movie in there. I think I may have talked about this on here, but it was called Beautiful Thing. And it was about, and I remember seeing the movie, and the whole movie is like Mama Cass and Mamas and the Papas music. And I just remember seeing it, and it was like and he says this in the book, it was like the very first movie, like, of our generation, because he's my age, he's like 6 years younger than me, of our generation that was about gay men that didn't have to do with AIDS. I mean, every movie before that, Longtime Companion, which I loved that movie, but it was very depressing. It was about AIDS. Jeffrey was a great movie, but it was about AIDS. I mean, every movie that came out that had to do with gay men was about AIDS. And, you know, I think it really spoke of that time. But if you watch enough of these documentaries, like How to Survive a Plague or We Were There, and those are both about, you know, the AIDS crisis and all of the people that we lost, and then you look at the Stonewall riots, and you look at, the gay civil rights movement, and you look at all of that and all these people that fought for us. It's not just about so that we can be, you know, it's about respecting one another. It's serious. And so I'm glad that when I shared my story, people related to it. I didn't mean to ramble on and on and on about that tonight, but I just wanted to say I really appreciate that people were like, I got a lot of emails from people that I didn't even know. I got several emails from gay men that were like, I watch your vlogs, I've never commented, but I just wanted you to know how much I related to your story. You know, your story is my story, we're close in age. And it was interesting to me, you know, like, or I got a lot of emails. I mean, honestly, you guys, I got like probably like 20 plus emails just about that vlog last night. I got from several women saying, you shared my best friend's story, and I never really knew that it was that hard for him, you know, and, or I didn't know that, you know, what he goes through today, and, or my brother. I got one about somebody's brother. So thank you for sharing those stories with me. I don't know, I just love this vlog so much. Means a lot to me, and I learned just as much about things as I hope that you guys learn from me, you know, when you share your stories with me. And so what was the rest of my day like? Well, I filmed videos, and then oh, speaking of which, do I have any coffee left in here? I do have just a little bit. And then I picked up Tanya, and we went to the meeting tonight. She and I didn't sit in the same group. We sat in separate groups. It was a really good meeting. And then on the way home, we just kind of talked. I took her to go get a fountain pop. And that was about it. Yeah, that was my evening. It wasn't too super exciting. Oh, I know what I wanted to say earlier. You know, it's so weird reading the John Wayne Gacy book right now at the same time that, like, I'm talking about, like, Pride Month and things like that, you know, because, and honestly, if you go back and you watch my last vlogs from last year, like, I just didn't talk about it that much on my vlogs. I just really didn't, you know, about Pride Day and stuff like that and Pride Month. I think it means more to me the older that I get, you know, I was in my head thinking, well, maybe because you become prouder. Maybe that is the case, you know. Maybe I am more proud than I was years ago. Maybe it means more to me. I don't know. But it's weird reading the John Wayne Gacy book because it's a lot about homosexuality and the differentiation between homosexuality and bisexuality. And, like, even John Gacy in the book, he's like, well, I'm not a homosexual, I'm a bisexual. But he says it, like, to the police officers. Like, it's important for him that there's that distinction, you know? And when they're interviewing these guys, that it's a lot about that, you know? And you look at that from, like, okay, this is about a serial killer, and it just is this very seedy, you know, life. And of course, like, I mean, he's a serial killer, you know? But this fear that people lived in of people thinking or knowing that they were gay, and this is in 1978, you know, and I was 6 years old at the time. And I'm reading this, and I'm thinking to myself, because it takes place 78, 79, I'm reading this, and I'm thinking to myself, so at the time that none of these people wanted to be known as gay or be out was literally the year when my bullying started. And I tell the story, if you've heard the story about me being in the cafeteria, that was first grade, and I was in the cafeteria, and you know, it was like a fall day, and we were all sitting around, and that would have been 78 or 79. Honestly, it would have been. I could go through and do the math, but I'm not going to. I think it probably was 78 because I didn't turn 18 until I graduated from high school, so it probably was. Somebody out there can figure it out. But anyway, you know, and it was like, I can remember sitting in that cafeteria, and that was like one of my favorite lunches because it's like they had the tomato soup on the table because they didn't want us to, you know, carry it because it was hot, and they were afraid we would spill it. And then we had peanut butter sandwiches, you know, and milk. And I remember sitting there that day, and I can, like, you know, like, you're talking first grade, okay? You're talking about pure innocence. And me walking to the cafeteria and being really, really excited because it's tomato soup. And I love tomato soup. And to this day, tomato soup is one of my favorite meals. And it, to me, is this comfy, homey meal, you know, tomato soup is. And I love it with peanut butter sandwiches, too, you know? And here I am, this innocent kid walking into the cafeteria, just excited about tomato soup. Do you remember, like, as a kid in elementary school, walking in and it being like your favorite day? Like, one of my favorite meals was called Johnny Marzetti, and it was like a mixture between like spaghetti and lasagna. I can just remember it being like, it's Johnny Marzetti today. You know what I mean? Like that innocence. And so I walk in and I'm so excited that it's tomato soup, and we all sit down at the table, and we're sitting there, and all the other boys at the table who are my friends are laughing about the milk. And then they, like, the kid next to me, they tell him not to drink the milk, and I have my milk, you know, little container up, and he goes, why? And he goes, because if you drink the milk, the other kid, who's, you know, mean kid, said, if you drink that milk, it'll make you a homo, because it said homogenous milk on the side, you know, so it would say homo on it. And he said, if you drink the milk, it'll make you a homo. And then I, like, have the milk in my hand, and he goes, don't worry about it, Peter. You already drank the milk, so you're already a homo. And then they're all laughing at me. And literally from that day on, I was treated different by everybody. Boys and girls alike. There were only a few girls that were really friendly to me, but even they kept their distance. You know, and like I said on here not too long ago, like, I mean, even thinking about it right now, sometimes the worst part of bullying was, to me, the isolation of not having anybody else to even really just sit and do a school project with nobody. I mean, think about this. When you're in school and you're like, you know, the teacher's like, okay, turn to somebody and pick your partner. Nobody ever wanted to be my partner. Nobody ever picked me for gym class. When we picked teams, I was always the last person picked. Always. Okay? Nobody wanted me. And then when they had to have me, after me standing there being the last, just imagine this, okay? Year after year after year after year, for every team picked, that, you know, and then the teachers were never sympathetic. Never. I don't know if these teachers had blinders on their eyes and couldn't see what was going on right in front of them, but I was literally, like, for gym classes and stuff, picked last every single time. And then when somebody had to pick me for gym class, they'd be like, ugh, you know, and the whole team, not Peter. Now, the teacher would say, you know, you get who you get and whatever. Imagine being, you get who you get. Like that, I'm a human being. Hello, I'm a person. You know, or, you know, every science class, every English class where you have to read a play with somebody, nobody wants to read their part with me. You know what I mean? And it just is ongoing. And it's just this total isolation where you're pretty much ignored. You know, there were a lot of lunches that I spent in the library out of fear of not wanting to be bullied, but also out of loneliness. Like, I didn't really have anybody to eat lunch with. You know, there were a lot of times that I didn't. It just, school was not easy for me. It just wasn't. And, you know, somebody thanked me on here the other day. They said, thank you for reminding me that not all of school was hell. You know, in a way, it's weird because, like, high school was better for me than elementary and junior high. I mean, honestly, it was. I think elementary was, well, okay, so when I think back on it, elementary school was very vivid to me and very cruel. Very, 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 very cruel. Like, that was the foundation of the bullying. That was the foundation of how they're going to look at Peter Monn going forward. So my elementary school years were hard. Were really, really hard. And if you think that elementary school kids aren't cruel and that stuff doesn't affect people, in all honesty, I cannot believe I ever made it out alive. I think had I not had the compassion and, you know, that I was getting in my home environment from both my parents and my whole family and friends of my family who were so loving and kind and affectionate, I think if I didn't have that, I don't know that I would be here today. I really don't. I mean, I think that really made the difference, because I sure as hell wasn't getting it at school. And I was really scared to go to school, like every day is in elementary school, and hated it. Just absolutely hated it. Junior high, I don't really, in all honesty, I don't really remember a lot of it. Like, it's weird to me. Like, 6th grade is vivid, but 7th, 8th, and 9th, I don't really remember a whole lot of it. Like, I don't really remember who my classes, like, teachers. I don't remember who was in my classes. I don't remember a lot of it. And, I do know that at that time, I was like, I always wrote. So I always wrote these like fantastical escape novels and thrillers and stuff. I do know that at that time, because I had found them later, I wrote these books, and I was always the character in the book, and I was always like leaving, and that was, you know, like going on some grand adventure and some mystery happened. I was always like escaping in my head, whether it was through movies or whether it was through reading. I never wanted to be present. And, you know, I look back on that and I don't really know what happened 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. I do think that for me, that somewhere, I would say, looking back, I can't remember honestly a time that I didn't feel like crushes of the same sex, but I think pushed them off. I think 7th, 8th grade, between then, maybe like more like 7th grade, I think 6th to 7th grade was where I really was like, to myself at least, like, this is who you are. Like, this is who you are and you can't run from it. You know what I mean? And I didn't like it because I wanted to run from it. I didn't want to be, you know, I didn't want to be what everybody was saying that I was. You guys are probably like, Peter, I can't believe you got on here and talked a whole another night about all this stuff. But maybe somebody out there needs to hear it. I don't know. You know, if you have kids that could possibly be going through the same thing, love them close, love them hard, because they need it. You know, I'm so thankful that, I mean, you know, I think about the fact that I grew up in an alcoholic home, but other than being in an alcoholic home, it was very loving. It was extremely loving, you know? And it wasn't like 24 hours a day my mother was drunk. I mean, she just wasn't. That wasn't the case. And I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just saying that wasn't the case. I mean, there were a lot of moments where my mother was a great mother, and that was who she strived to be. But somebody thanked me in my video for saying that not all of high school was bad, and that I sometimes, like, you know, I make it out to be like I was bullied all the time. High school is actually the easiest out of all of it, because by the time I got to high school, well, I would say the second semester of my sophomore year when I made friends, by the time I got to that point, you know, like, I was pretty used to dealing with the hatred and the bullying. Bullying is kind of this all-encompassing word. I almost want to say hatred, because that's what it was. I mean, they literally, it was cruelty and it was hatred. And I was pretty used to it by then. My junior year was, the end of my junior year and the beginning of my senior year was when it got borderline a little scary. Some incidents happened that were threatening, I would say. Well, I'm not gonna say, I mean, they were threatening. And, not like threatened to, like, you know, they just were threatening. Like, I was scared, you know, like physically scared. But, you know, I also, like, had these friends, and by second semester of my sophomore year, I mean, we were a tight clique, and I had them through the rest of my high school years. And I mean, these were badass chicks. I mean, they didn't take shit from nobody, okay? These were skater punk rock chicks that didn't take shit from nobody, period, end of story. And they had my back. They were stronger than I ever wanted to be. I mean, and if somebody was screwing with me and they were there was like a whole semester that I, like, was in the library a lot. I can't remember which one it is. This is where my memory gets a little fuzzy about some of this stuff. But I think it was because I had a whole semester where, like, none of my friends were at my lunch. And it was just, like, one semester. And that may have been my first semester of my sophomore year, but I don't remember. But, you know, those girls, Like, I had these two friends that were twins, and they were literally fearless. Like, fearless when it came to, not about doing things necessarily, although they kind of were at that as well, but they just, like, when people would pick on me, they were fearless. I mean, they just were like, I can remember my one friend, and she literally was like 5 foot, jet black hair that she dyed, shaved on one side, you know, like literally the whole head, half of her head shaved, the other side just like down in her face, you know, like t-shirts with just, you know, safety pins all over them, you know, black lipstick, black nail polish. And if she was there when one of these guys would get in my face, she literally, just like in the middle of the hall, would start screaming her head off. And like the teachers would do nothing about it. She's a 4.0 student, great student. She was my friend that actually, she's real successful today. And she's still real, she kind of went punk rock to hippie, and now she's a total hippie. But she, really cool job, and she's a teacher today, like, but a very kind of prestigious teacher. But anyway, she would just like scream, like loud, like ah, like she was like crazy or something, you know. And then she thought it was hilarious. And she was my friend that applied to Princeton and said the essay was compare and contrast the two sides of a penny, and she said heads I get in, tails I, or something like heads I get in, tails I down. She got accepted to Princeton. Can you imagine? Her SAT scores were like unbelievable as well. But you know, and her sister was the same way, just fearless. Would just, you know, like come after, I mean, just would protect me at any expense. Would look at these guys and just be like, get the F out of here. Like, get the F out of here, get the F out of here. I mean, they would just scream and stuff, you know, until these guys, like, left me alone. And then they would, like, look at him and they'd be like, your friends are crazy, you know, like, oh, my friends are crazy because they're protecting me, but you're over here making fun of me, writing, you know, FAG all over my locker with Sharpie on my car. People wrote it on my car. Can you imagine coming out to your car and all over your car having that word written in black Sharpie? Or lipstick, how about that one? Or somebody putting things, you know, it just on and on and on. I couldn't have a car in high school. I mean, I did, but like, people just constantly just screwed with my car, you know? Screwed with my locker, screwed with my clothes. It just was constant. If it wasn't for those girls that were my friends, I honest to God, I mean, if I had had to go through high school alone, you know, I sit here sometimes and I wonder, like, you know, I think a lot, I've said it on here before that, like, you know, you hear about, like, kids taking their lives and all this kind of stuff, which is just so tragic. And I say that, like, that wasn't really, like, I don't remember that being an option. Like, yes, taking your life, like, there were attempts when I was in high school that I heard about from people. But I don't remember that being the result of, like, being bullied. But, you know, I talk a lot about having my family around me, but I really think it was my friends that saved my ass. I really, really do. I think it was those girls, and they really had no idea what they were doing for me at that time, but I was not in a position to stand up for myself, you know? And today, I think I am who I am, partly because of them, and partly because of when I came out, I hung out with a group of drag queens that didn't take shit from nobody. And they really kind of gave me some tough skin. Now, I've never been somebody that's been really confrontational, and I've never been somebody that's been really, you know, I tend to be more of a doormat. I just do, in life. Not just in certain areas, but in life. I'd rather, I don't know if I get that from, you know, coming from an alcoholic home, or from the bullying, I don't know where, but I've always in the back of my head been like, if we can smooth things out, let's just smooth them out instead of having a confrontation. I just don't like that, right? I mean, there's certain things that I'll stand up for myself about and whatever, but by and large, I'm just not that person, and I just don't like that. I just don't, you know, like, why cause waves kind of thing, even if at the expense of me suffering. And I think that's been sad in my own life, but I think, like, you know, it was interesting. Somebody emailed me, and his story was very similar to mine, so thank you for your email. But he said that he, as well, loved Sandra Bernhardt in high school. And, you know, what's interesting about that is, I look back on what my idea of Sandra Bernhard was in high school, and she was this tough chick. I mean, she was this tough chick that knew who she was, knew she was weird, knew she was different, didn't give a shit, and because of that, it made her cool. She embraced her weirdness. And I think that was desirable to me, to embrace my different, to embrace my weirdness. And today I have, you know, today I don't give a shit. I'm 47 years old flipping fans on a video, you know, like, you guys, my battery is about to die and I don't have my other battery with me charged. So this is gonna have to be the end of the vlog. I can't believe it. It's like literally flashing. I don't know how long it's been flashing, so it could end any second. And like I said, I don't have my other battery charged with me, so I gotta end it. But anyway, you guys, I'm sorry. I wanted to make this a super long vlog tonight. But I hope you guys are having an amazing, I can't believe it's Wednesday already. Amazing Wednesday, unless you have other plans. But don't. Enjoy your day. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Do something today that is making the most of your life and having the most fun. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. Pass it on. Most importantly, pass it on to somebody else. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.